starting with 2D, the black and white. See which way your baby's lying. Check the heartbeat. Do we need to confirm boy or girl for you?
No, we know it's a boy.
Awesome. Our goal to get the best image of the baby is we'd like him to turn his little face to the top of the screen when we're in 2D. If we can get him head down and his face looking up, that gives us the clearest image of his face. And just depending on where his placenta is, they'll usually always show the profile. If the placenta's in the front, they tend to only be able to show us the profile. But if it's not, then a lot of times they'll turn and show us more.
I know.
Have you?
Well, because I can feel him kicking here. So I'm wondering if his head is here.
Let's see where it's at. He's got him some breech. So actually his head is here. That's his head
So I
up
can
at
feel
the top
him
here.
kicking here.
And he's got his feet in front of his head, so his feet are actually right here. That's his feet going up and down. He's bending them up and down up against his face. He's got a little bit of cord floating around up there, so we're going to see a little cord, but that's his little cheeks there.
Oh, he's got big cheeks.
Check out a little round face.
Oh, God, he's going to be like
That little line you see going by his nose, that's his umbilical cord. And he's breech and his feet are going back and forth towards his face. So his belly button's not too far from his nose, so it's not unusual we see the cord floating around. Yeah. A lot of people get concerned when they see it, but the fact that we can see it floating around, we don't worry about it being tangled in it. Actually,
I was born with a cord around
he's just got his floating there right now. So stretching. So I think what you're feeling on this side is probably elbows from his arms down there. Yeah, because unless he spins all the way around and faces this side right now, he's got his bottom down, head up, his front's facing here with his legs coming up. So his back's facing this way.
His back's facing this way.
Yeah, so he might be giving you these elbows, his little arms. The arms kind of get pinned by the legs that are coming up, so they stay by their chest. So most of them they have to move them kind of up and down like that. So he's actually very cooperative for a breech baby. So cute little cheeks. So that is a foot.
Up by his face.
Yeah, that's his little foot. That's his nose, right by his little foot. Kind of looking
That
down.
looks like a big foot.
Yeah, that is a pretty big foot.
It's
It's pretty impressive.
Between me and his dad. Yeah. God, he's gonna have like size 14s like it.
I think I've got y'all's stature here.
Mm-hmm.
Long legs, and his feet are long too. Let's see if we can get around your feet. Yeah, that's a little foot stretched out there. See his toes? Not so little.
I have a feeling he's gonna be a long baby.
Right down here where we want to have his head at eventually. He's got his little boy parts. That's his scrotum and that's the head of the penis there. So both these legs are bent back over his head. That's the back of his little left leg and that's the back of his little right leg there. So here's his little feet together. And then when we go up here and go under his feet, his little head is right there. She got really good fluid around him, so I don't think he's. Most babies I see right now, about 90% are already head down. That other 10%, there's only going to be about 1% that doesn't turn. He's got great fluid around him. I don't think he's in any hard pressed to turn head down yet. I don't think he's in any compromised space for
normally
room.
turn head down? Is it like 30 weeks or something?
Usually, about 28 weeks, I see about 90% of them head down. But they can turn up until 36 weeks. Now, once you get him head down, they tend to stay there after 28 or 30 because gravity's on your side. His head's the biggest thing he's got. It's a smile. He says, I have a big head. What in the world? bigger they get, the less motivated they are to do it.
Oh, you just kicked or elbowed me or
Yeah,
something.
he's kicking you. That little head going up. You've already got good fluid, so one thing you can do to encourage him if you guys are getting any bodies of water or pool or anything as the weather warms up, when you float on your tummy with your tummy down, or at home, there's a little hand trying to come on his mouth open, he's yawning. He has pretty lips. It's been hard to see him with his little chin down. That time he could see him good. But if you're anywhere where you can have your tummy down toward the ground, whether it's at home, you do kind of downward dog in yoga, or if you're at a pool floating on your tummy, a little smile. Anytime he's moving, you can do that. He gets gravity on his side now. See,
It
normally,
helps him.
normally when you sit and stand, he's sinking into your pelvis and he's pawing at the top of your tummy.
Well, we'll be at the beach, so you'll have to help me
There you go. Get your wraps.
swim belly down.
Yeah,
There's a pool there too.
yeah. It's the perfect time. Then it doesn't stress your back as much. There's his little ears over there.
So like if you just sat on the edge of the pool with your hands on the side,
Maybe that would
kind of put your legs up behind the middle, is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, just kind of float with your tummy down and hold your hands inside the pool. Yep. So that way, he's laying on his legs now that are over his head right now. When we flip him over is when he's laying on them. So now when he's pushing on Mama's tummy, his bottom is on top of it, and he actually gets traction and turn to the side. Right now he's like this. So it would be like us sitting in a tire swing and somebody said, get up. We would kind of be flailing around. He's sitting in the
He
pelvic
gets some
girdle like
leverage
that.
if I go down
Yeah.
the other direction.
Right now he kicks Mommy and he's just kicking feet over his head. So
Yeah.
babies use their legs to get leverage to turn. They get those legs kicking and their
I
heads.
barely feel anything like here on the top.
Yeah.
I don't feel kicks. I don't see kicks. It's on the side where I'm feeling it. So it's got to be his elbows or.
Yeah, it's probably his own. You know, most of the power's in his legs,
Yeah.
and you have great fluid, so these legs are extended all the way out, and they're not even touching you. So they're straight out, not touching you. So when he brings them down, you may feel a little bit there that
Yeah.
ankle's touching you. So when he brings them down, you may feel a little bit going down, but he's bringing it back
Yeah.
toward him, so it's not as powerful of a move. There's his little feet together. So that's the outside of the ankles, and he's just clearly got them stretched all the way
Yeah.
up, but he's not hitting you. So when he goes head down, you're going to feel just the opposite. You're going to feel flurries
I'll
of
feel
kicks.
that all up
Yeah,
here.
you're going to flurries of kicks up there. Right now he's got enough space. He can just stretch those legs out and no issues at all. So he's got plenty of freedom to move. A lot of these little guys at this age, he's got some hair up there.
Does he?
Yeah, I can see this little bright white. Let me see if I can magnify it a little bit for you.
I would not be surprised. We're taking bets on whether because Tom was white blonde. Do you know like bright blonde?
Let's see.
And I was somewhat blonde as a kid, but obviously I went really dark. So play some bets
These
on
little sprigs you see sticking up
Yeah.
here, is little sprigs of hair. So he's got a little bit of fuzz up there already. Yeah, he cuddles toward his cord. He's a happy little camper. He's got everything he needs there. That's his little heartbeat in there.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
That's his little heart.
it's very good.
His little waveform lets us capture his heart rate.
It's usually towards me.
Put 2 valves at once. I'm trying to get one. There we go. A little easier for me to count. There we go. Let's see how fast it is today. Yep, 143. Oops, I lost it.
It's pretty steady. His heart.
Yeah.
What are you able to tell what size he is? Like how long or approximate or
I
weight?
can't tell his length because I can't measure him. It falls
Yeah.
into full diagnostics. But when I look at him here and I see his facial development and his cheeks here, he looks like he's probably about in the 3.5 pound range. How many weeks are you?
I just turned 28 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think he's gonna
He's
be
a
a
big
big
baby. He is. 28 weeks, they're usually around 2
Two.
1/4 to 2.5.
I
reports a lot smaller. We're worried about him. Don't be overly concerned, because just depending on the way he's laying right now, he's got bottom down, feet up, coming up on this side. If he has the feet coming up in the front, he's going to push everything out and look bigger. And so it just changes those measurements and alters them just depending on the way he's laying. So what we'll do is I'll print you a report